Good day everyone, it's Pramita here. So today let's talk about the concept of financial net worth, shall we? So what do we mean by financial net worth? It's simply an equation of your assets minus your liabilities. So what do we mean by assets? Assets are your house, or the market value of your stock markets, or the cryptocurrencies that you have, or the cash at bank. But as a rule of thumb in finance, we do not include your consumable items into your assets like your shoe collection. And on the other hand, your liabilities are the mortgage that you have taken or the personal loan that you have taken. The residue figure is what you call as your financial equity or financial strength. And it is important that you know your financial strength before you take it further. Why is that? Because the financial freedom starts with understanding where you are at the moment. Once you compute that figure, it might either thrill you, or you might be relieved, or it might frighten you, but it doesn't matter. At least you know where you are at the moment. So once you do that, the next thing that I would want you to do is try to know what roughly or approximately what your monthly expenses are, the total value of your monthly expense, and try to divide that by the existing cash balance in your bank. So the figure that you get would tell you if you are to lose the income in going forward, if you are to just solely rely on the cash balance that you have in your hand, how many months you would be able to survive. Now, as a rule of thumb, most people would tell you it's better to have 3 months worth of living expenses sitting in your bank balance. But given the times that we are in, given all the uncertainties going around, and also adding into the fact that I'm a bit of a risk-averse person in this particular regards, I would say at least you need to have 6 months worth of living expenses sitting in your bank account. Why? Because it will be mentally relieving if it is a circumstance which is to arise that you are not being able to get any financial income for a foreseeable future. And this is also important for you to have that financial freedom that you need for your family. You see, research has always indicated that the number one reason for family issues or domestic violence or whatever you call it, it's not the lack of love, it's not the lack of family support, it's not the togetherness or anything. It is the lack of financial freedom. This is proven everywhere. So if you take that out, or if you remove the burden on the financial independence or lack of financial independence, you would sort out majority of the issues that you have. Yes, I know, money will not bring happiness, but lack of money would certainly bring you misery. That's for sure. So we will try to reduce the latter part which I mentioned in that statement by having that financial freedom there. Now, when I go back to the concept of net asset, you talk about the assets and the liabilities, why it's important. You see, there are two types of rich people in this world. One I personally call as the show-off riches. The show-off riches will have the biggest houses, the most valuable houses. They would live in the best neighborhood ever, and they would drive the latest car, and they would have all the consumables there. But when you really drill down to the financial numbers, yes, they have an asset base maybe running into millions of dollars, but on the other hand, their liabilities also run into millions of dollars. Sometimes it's in par, it exceeds asset value, which means you're not financially free. If something to go wrong today, if your income is to lose, you won't be able to sustain that, and you are going to get into a debt cycle to maintain your lifestyle. But on the other hand, the type 2 is what you call as a Warren Buffett type of rich, which means you do not show off your wealth per se, but at the same time you do have enough financial strength to weather any financial storm. So I would think if you are in a Warren Buffett kind of richness, I think that's what you should all try for. Now, there are other concepts associated with these. Good loan versus bad loan, what do we mean by live below means, and things like that. Those are all quite a broad concept to cover in one session. I might be covering that in future as and when they come by. So until that time, enjoy.